Welcome to the following of the JavaScript tutorials about DOMs, and we're going to continue with the rest of our tutorial on how to work with the DOMs. So the DOMs were generally document object models, and we learned how to work with some of them, including the get elements by ID and the effect of .inner HTML. Also, we got familiar with how to work with get element by tag name. So in this part, we're going to add another type of get element, and that is by the class name. So that is pretty much like the tag name, but the class name. So imagine that we have this p tag over here with the class name equals to, for example, my class. And right over here, I can write let y equals to document dot get element get elements by class name, and then right over here we can write the name of the class. So here we can write my class, and then we can console.log my class. So console.log my class. So actually console.log y. So let's save it and let's run it with the live server. So now let's inspect the elements and take a look at our console. So here we've got the HTML collection. So this is p.myClass, right? So this here we have managed to get this, and so let's get into our VS Code. So here we are. Also imagine that we have a number of classes with my class, and so as a result we will see a collection of the class of this p tag and with this specific class. So there's nothing fancy about getting the elements by the class name, and notice that you can change this by adding .inner HTML and it will change that. Also, there is something with the same name, and so for example with the same result, but imagine that, for example, here we have something else. So for example, all of these p tags are inside of the div tag, right? And the div tag has a class name, so class equals to new class, for example, and then just like that. And here we have, for example, some other tags. For example, I have h1 tag which says hello from here, or hello from Arashtad. And then also I have a p tag saying this is DOM tutorial video. So let's save this, and now what we need to do here is we can, for example, console.log, and then we can write document dot, and here we will instead of get elements we will write query selector all. So document dot query selector, and then all. So instead of the parentheses we can write the div dot and then we can write the name of the class. So new class is the name of our class, so new class, and this should print out the tags related to this class, which is new class. So let's save this, and live server will refresh the page for us. So now let's take a look at this HTML. So now I fixed the code we had written to CUs, and so it was document, so it's now document.query selector all, and now it works in a fine way. As you can see, node list and div.new class. So the new class has been recognized, and as you can see, it has got the tag with this specific class called new class, and it's been done using the query selector all attribute. So also there's nothing fancy about document.query selector all. Notice that you can change the inner HTML with this .inner HTML. Also notice that, for example, here, imagine that we have an attribute other than ID and you want to change this, right? So for example, this p tag over here has, for example, src equals to something. So here we don't have any source, for example, we don't have any image, but imagine that you have something, for example, image.jpg, right? And you want to change it with another image, image2.jpg, right? So you can change that using another attribute, which I'm gonna tell you right now. So instead of .inner HTML, we can write .src. So let me do this right over here. For example, we can say document .get elements by ID. .get element by ID, and then what we need to do is to add the ID. This is my ID for this one, and so it's with the small m. So instead of .inner HTML, as we write above, we can write src, and then this attribute will be applied to our tag, our p tag with the ID my ID, and then we can write the name of the new image. So here I can write new image.jpg, and it will apply that. It will apply the new image to this p tag, and it will change this. So I can save this, but because we have no image, it will throw an error. But anyway, if you use this tag, if you use this attribute after .get elements by ID or anything afterwards, you can change the source. So this is also a very useful one. This is not only for the source, this could be related to the class, related to even the ID, but with the difference that here you should get the tag using the get elements by tag or class, so that then you can change the ID. So any attribute that you want to change, you can change it after dot. Also, if you want to change the inside of the tag over here, so the inner HTML will do that for you. So instead of hello from Arashtad, you can say something else, right? So it's just as easy as that and nothing fancy about it.